Here's a genius trick you need to know. To get started, you just need to memorize the squares of the numbers from 0 to 9. Then, focus closely on the last digit of each of those squares. Notice how some of them share the exact same last digit. 1 squared and 9 squared both end in 1. 2 squared and 8 squared both end in 4. 3 squared and 7 squared both end in 9. And 4 squared and 6 squared both end in 6. The square of 0 simply ends in 0, and the square of 5 ends in a 5. Let me illustrate exactly how this method works with a quick example. Let's calculate the square root of 1600. First, look at the last digit of 1600. This is 0, so you now want the square whose last digit ends in 0. There's only one option here, which is 0 squared equals 0. So we put a 0 over here. Next, we cross out the hundreds and units digits. We're left with the number 16. Now we want to find the square that's closest to 16 without exceeding it. In this case, 4 squared is equal to 16 exactly. So we write the digit 4 right here. Thus our answer is 40. Now that was a pretty simple example. Let's step it up and calculate the square root of 4,225. The last digit is 5, and that corresponds to the last digit of 5 squared, which is 25. So we write the digit 5 here. We then cross out the last two digits. We now want the square that's closest to 42 without going over. That would be 6 squared, which equals 36. So we write a 6 over here. Put it together, and the square root of 4,225 is exactly 65. Now, let's calculate the square root of 841. The last digit is 1. Now that could either correspond to 1 squared or it could correspond to 9 squared. We have two possible options, 1 and 9. We'll continue by crossing out the last two digits. Now we want the square closest to 8 without going over. This will be 2 squared, which is equal to 4. So we write a 2 here. This means our answer is either 21 or 29. To distinguish between the two, we'll use a brilliant little trick. We'll calculate the square of 25. Here is how you do it instantly. Take the part of the number that is not 5, in this case the 2, and multiply it by 1 more than itself. So we take 2 times 3, which equals 6. Then you just append a 25 to the end. So 25 squared is equal to 625. Notice that 625 is smaller than 841. This means 25 squared is too little, so it must actually be the case that 841 is equal to 29 squared. We take the larger option of 9, meaning the square root of 841 is 29.